new turbo on and we broke the rest of it. The hell? What'd you say?
Garrett, it's time for a new video. Get outside.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? And we have got something amazing planned for you today. Well, it might not be amazing, but it's exciting, and I'm gonna love it. We have got some more mods for the awesome Fummins. So, if you guys was here last time and you watched the last video on our Cummins powered F350 here, you'll know we gave her a couple small fuel upgrades that made it smoke just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. So, we do have one issue now. We move a whole lot of fuel, and it smokes more than Willie Nelson. But we need to move a whole lot of air, like a politician. So, we're gonna take and pull off our little factory turbo we got on there, and we got a big honker from Borg Warner of their power-driven diesel, and we're gonna slap this thing on there. So, let's get after it. I know. Aren't you excited? I'm excited, let's do it! Now guys, I have figured it out. I have got the true key and answer to happiness here. It's a big turbocharger. Oh my God, look at it. Ain't it gorgeous? Some of you might already know what's going on here, but for those of you that don't, let's tell you what this is. This is a K27 Borg Warner turbo, and we also got a dust bowl filter from Power Driven Diesel. They actually have these turbos on sale this month. If you want one, go over there and get you one. They're awesome. So, we are going to take and get this thing put on our old Cummins swap F350. Now, it wasn't really designed to quite fit what we want since ours is an industrial model. So we're going to have to caulk this housing a little bit over here like this. And I think we're going to have to relocate this wastegate just a little bit or it's going to hit the block. But we're going to get our old turbo off first and see. Just imagine if you saw that thing hanging out of the hood. Anyway, so we keep all the dirt out of it so we don't mess up our turbo. Now, this thing should support about 450 horsepower. No, there's probably a lot of you wondering, Westen, you're gonna make 450 horsepower out of a truck that made like 350 or whatever the 6.4 made. The horsepower is not the important number. The important number is the foot-pound of torque this thing's gonna put out. I don't know, but my guess on what this thing's gonna make is about 1,000 to 1,100 foot-pounds, which it's fair to say that the highest torque rating you can get on a brand new diesel pickup today is 1,000 foot-pounds with a 6.7 liter Cummins, and we can do it with an old 5.9 12 valve. That just shows how great the old 12 valves are. Let's get this thing pulled in the garage. Let's see how hard and how many bolts we're gonna break getting our old turbo off. And I think we're gonna have to modify the wastegate a little bit on that turbo, but we'll get that done and get it thrown on there. Shouldn't be that hard. Ain't nothing to it just to do it. So we got the truck pulled in here. We got our famous Menard shop light that's supposed to go on our ceiling, but it's a good shop light up there on the hood, and we got the exhaust manifold to cool down a little bit. And that is probably the most important thing when you're gonna do turbo work. Let the exhaust cool, because trust me, it's gonna be a little bit hot if you're trying to get down here and then you get to a hold of that hot exhaust manifold. So, for right now, we're gonna take and pull these boost tubes off. We're probably just gonna put this boost tube on exactly the way it is when we put the new turbo back in, but I've got some pipes and stuff ordered, and we're going to take and actually come through and weld up some actually good looking boost tubes. So don't worry about that, guys, but we're not going to take care of that today. Are probably going to have a little bit of issue getting this turbo off. Hold on. And the reason for that is this turbo has been on there for a long time. Anyway, there's these nuts on the bottom side of the flange on the exhaust manifold. Them things have been on there a long time. They're probably rusty, so hopefully we don't break the studs off inside the manifold. That's not going to be fun. And then we're also going to have to get our oil feed line and everything off, and our oil drain line and downpipe, and then we'll pull it out. All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
How are things coming?
It's hot. You know what? It actually all came apart really easily except for the one last back bolt. And Cummins, why couldn't you put that out in the open? Actually, it's not their fault. The only way this engine will fit in here is with that manifold on it. And with a regular second gen swap manifold, the turbo would sit up here real nice and pretty, but it would hit the AC, so we couldn't do that. But with it being all the way back down there like a third gen manifold, then we have problems trying to get the nuts off the turbo. What is that, 15?
Is it loose?
Yeah, that's loose.
Oh, it's ready to come off. That's tiny compared to the new one.
This is one of them where you got to loosen it by braille.
Oh, the portico works again. It's gonna turn off here in a second. Is the portico on switch down there or something?
Well, I just dropped our nut.
It's changing settings now too, Westen.
Yeah, I know, it's special.
You take that back, it's brand new, so.
Alright, here we go. Come on, turbo, come here. Okay. Woo.
It's coming apart pretty fast though.
Yeah, it actually is. It's not that bad. Oh, we did forget one thing though. Okay, I need to grab a knife. Oh my God, that feels good. Oh yeah.
No. Are you measuring this? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're taking the proper measurements, huh?
Yep. You damn portico! All right, come here, turbocharger. Whore. Come on! Be free! Ah, I got it! Whew. That only took a long time. Whew. It's hot out here. Let's see if the ladies and gentlemen at home can see the difference. Look at that. That thing looks so small compared to that big monster. We got both of the turbos sitting here on the bench. We got the old one off of the Cummins F350 over there, and we got our new bright and shiny one from Power Driven Diesel. Now, this here is a Borg Warner K27. I might explain that earlier. And if we look at it, they kind of look similar, except this one's really shiny and beautiful, and this one's old and dirty. Now, this here I believe is a stock HX35 that come from Cummins. This one here says remanufactured, so it's been remanufactured at some point in its life. And it would say exactly what model number, but this one here is missing exactly what it is. But anyway, that's our factory turbo, and this here is our K27. Now, if we just, first off, when we're looking at it, we can see that this turbine housing is a heck of a lot bigger than the little one that, I mean, I don't know, do I got anything around here? Here, we'll just measure it by injector size. There's an injector. There's an injector. Yeah. So, they got the same inlet size, but that turbine is a heck of a lot bigger on our new turbo. And see, see how nice it spins? Oh my God, look at that. So I think we're gonna have to move this wastegate just a little bit closer to the turbo. That way it doesn't hit the block when we bolt it up, because this turbo was kind of designed, or not really designed, but it's made for the second gen manifold, which puts the turbo in a different location than our industrial manifold off of our industrial Cummins in that F350 over there. So the other thing we need to do is caulk this housing. These housings are adjustable. You can spin them any different way you want. You just loosen these bolts here on the back and spin it. And like on the old HX35, there's a big snap ring on the back that you loosen right there. Just squeeze down on that and then you can spin it as well. And to bolt up to our intake boost tubes, we need the housing pointed straight up. And it's a lot easier to do that while it's out of the truck And we got the old turbo sitting right here so we can see kind of exactly how we need it. So we'll set that up, we'll kind of adjust that wastegate a little bit, and then we're gonna throw it on the truck. Sounds like a good thing to me. One of the other advantages to using that K27 is one of these days when I decide that I want to do twin turbos, I believe I can use that K27 Borg Warner with a compound twin turbo kit. So that means that this turbo, buying this, is not a waste, and I can continue to use it further down the road when we decide to make more horsepower out of the Fummins. But for right now, I think it'll work really good for our fueling setup and really good for what we got done to our injection pump. And make lots of power. And hopefully not enough power that we don't blow up the Ford transmission. That's kind of what we're aiming for right now. So, all right, let's do this.
You found a wrench, I see.
I found a wrench. There we go. So what this is this is our oil feed for our turbo. So we got to pull this out and put it in this turbo. That way we can get oil to our turbo. We get over here to our new turbo and got our little rubber O-ring. Pick some oil out of there. Make sure you got a little bit of oil on it, that way it don't get messed up. And voila. And this was the same fitting that hooked up to our feed line on our Cummins already. So our feed line will hook right in perfect.
How much torque are you thinking?
I'm thinking we're probably gonna make like 1,000 foot-pound, 1,100 foot-pound of torque, which is a lot. The thing about it is Cummins engines aren't real horsepower. They're real torquey is the thing. And which is good because when you have a real torquey engine, it's perfect for towing. And it makes all of its torque at 1,600 RPM. Whereas like Power Strokes and Duramaxes, they're kind of a diesel that likes to be wrapped out a little bit more. Cummins just love to lug. Love to lug. You know what, while I'm here, maybe I ought to show people what they ought to look for. Figured I'd show you guys what you ought to look for if you're looking at a turbo to get one. Now this turbo here is good anyway. I see it spins good. The turbine has no problem spinning back and forth. It just spins nice and easy, no hard spots. And also the other thing you want to look at is you want to try to wiggle this. And make sure that that doesn't have no play in it. See, no play at all. And then try to pull up and down on it, nothing. And that's exactly what you want. Now, the biggest thing, like same thing with this. It turns nice and easy, no problems, no wiggle. And a little bit of wiggle is fine as long as this turbine is not hitting the side of the housing. That's when you have issues. But you don't want any back and forth play, which means like if the if the shaft moves back and forth this way. Get away, mosquito. So here's where we're going to begin the modifications to fit this turbo onto our Cummins. Now, this is a factory drop-in replacement for the HX35 that was in this truck. It's just an upgraded version of it. So it should fit 99% of 12 valve Cummins and 24 valves perfectly because they have a second gen manifold on them and they're just a little bit different. But ours has an industrial manifold, which means the turbo's really down and close to the block, which is no problem except for this wastegate will hit the block just by a nipple hair. So all we got to do is just pop these bolts loose. We're going to drill some new holes in this bracket, move this wastegate just a little bit closer to the turbo. That way it won't hit the block. Then we got to adjust this housing up so this outlet for the turbo is straight up and down like right here. And then we're going to throw it in. All right. So we did a little bit more modification to our wastegate actuator. Move that out of the way. That's our oil feed line for our turbo. We don't want that getting snug up somewhere. There we go. Please fit, baby.
Well, is it right?
That portico was possessed. I think it'll fit. I just think I need another set of hands.
All right, I had to give you a hand so we weren't able to record it, but what's it looking like?
It looks sweet. Now we just got 2 nuts on there right now holding it up, but it looks like, yeah, we got the wastegate moved just far enough away from the block that we'll be good. Yeah, I think this will be awesome. Look how good it looks. My God, this thing looks great. Once we're done with the whole swap and we get it running like we want to, I'm gonna come in and redo the intercooler tubes and all that stuff and make it just look a whole lot better underneath the hood. Excuse me, not underneath the dash. So, let's get the other nuts for this turbo put back on there. And I was smart and I didn't forget the exhaust manifold gasket, so we're good there. Now let's get this thing put together. I'm so excited, I wanna see it make boost. Okay, where to put my nuts?
Weston, I don't freaking see anything. What the hell?
You gotta take the lens cap off.
Oh, my battery's dying now too.
You're just around. Well guys, this thing is officially installed. Now, before we shut the hood, we better grab our rag up there. All right, I think we're good. So, let's take this thing for a spin and see how it runs. I bet it, excuse me. Oh, it didn't like my bad language. I bet it runs freaking amazing. So, let's drive it. Sounds like it's running smoother. It already sounds meaner. I bet this thing is going to drive awesome. Oh, the dinger still works. We're good. Woo! When you got this much power, you got to strap in. Oh, that air feels good. All right, we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Should I get into it here or should I wait until we get to the road?
Get into it a little bit, but don't get it sideways, because if it does. Doesn't seem like she can get traction.
No, I saw the speedometer go all the way up to about...
Is something wrong with it?
We broke it. So, this thing is a really quick truck. Look at this. I think if I turn the wheel, I don't know what. Let me try turning it off. Okay, maybe that fixed it. I think what it was is the traction control didn't like that the engine was running, and I don't know. Well, I don't know how fast we're going, but I know we're going faster than that. Oh my God, look how much smoke we blow. It blows a lot.
What?
I'm like, what?
What?
It's very smoky. Well, today at Westen, we put a new turbo on and we broke the rest of it. It's got the power, I'm not joking though. Woo! Oh, party mode is on. There, that's a lot better. So our speedometer's all over the place, which I don't think it's actually something wrong with the truck, because if it was, I think that the transmission would be shifting funny, but the transmission's still shifting fine. So maybe there's something wrong with our cluster or something going to our cluster. But otherwise, it's running great. I mean, so our test drive didn't go as good as I thought I wanted to. Our speedometer broke, our camera broke, so we're just having a lot of things that broke. So we did uncover another issue with the F350, and that is the speedometer don't know if we're going 10 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. But I'm just gonna say that it's really optimistic and it wants to go fast, and we're just not going fast enough for the odometer, or the speedometer, whatever you wanna call it. So we need to fix that. But when we talk about the turbo works flawlessly. I mean, this thing lights up boost right away, makes power and smoke, and well, it actually decreases smoke, but this thing hauls like a mother. I would tell you how fast we was going, but you know, obviously our speedometer said anything from 10 to 100 miles an hour, so I really can't inform you on that kind of information. But I do know that when we fix that, we will go back out and do our 0 to 60 time, and see what it is then. Obviously, hit that like button if you like this video. That tells YouTube that we're good guys and that more people should watch this video, obviously. If you're new here, subscribe. And you know what? I will see you guys next time. Talk to you later.